Why are team games not fun? The answer to this question is second nature to some people who have most likely played games for a long time, but to others it's something they cannot figure out even though the answer is right in front of them. This is a question with some history behind it. A sad, unfortunate history that could have been completely avoided if game developers simply listened to the wide majority of their communities and not the slim minorities. Let me explain. First, that title should probably have an anymore added to the end because team games used to be fun. Team Fortress 2 is a great example of this. It was made 17 years ago and modern practices that we see today were nowhere to be seen. It's a casual game where things were made to be fun and goofy. It didn't matter if you win or lose because you just had a blast playing. This obviously wasn't restricted to just TF2 though, because 99% of multiplayer games during this era didn't even know what the opposite of casual was. They didn't prioritize winning, they prioritized having a good time. Well, the next logical question is, what is the opposite? If people aren't playing games for fun, then what are they playing for? And most importantly, how does any of this affect games today? The next phase of gaming was upon us, and its name was competitive. This trend started as the strange, illegitimate child of Call of Duty and YouTube, and it took the entire gaming industry by storm. People started uploading clips to YouTube en masse. Funny clips had their niche, but what really got the views were the montages. Being good at the game was what people started to strive for. This culture of taking games more seriously had two notable effects that relate to each other and give us a better picture of why games are the way that they are now. 1. It made the average player insanely skilled. Seriously, go back to some old Modern Warfare 3 footage and compare it to what the average player looks like now. They are 5 times better, and I'm not even being hyperbolic. But the part that matters most is 2. Esports. Esports are framed after actual sports, of course, so we got team-based games being taken way more seriously. It's much more fun to watch a team of skilled players fight for the win compared to 2 skilled players doing the same. Fighting games have their place in the competitive scene, but games where you had a team of 3 to 6 facing off is where the real views were at. League of Legends, CSGO, Dota, all of these exploded in popularity. Developers started picking up on this hype and fostered the community esports was building. They realized that it was free publicity. Your game is team-based and skill-oriented, well now it has hundreds of thousands of viewers monthly. These are viewers which are also going to be buying your game in droves to try to be a pro player or just be like their favorite team. The gaming industry was changed forever. Why would you put a team of skilled developers on a project that was single player when this new team-based genre is where the money was? You have to understand that even indie developers need to make money. They can't just put hundreds of hours into a passion project. No one has time for that, they need a paycheck. This all spiraled out of control until about 2016. 2016 is an important year because it's when Overwatch was released. Now, I loved Overwatch 1 as much as the next guy did and will always be one of my favorite games. However, you have to understand one thing. This game was not made for you. It was not made for me. It was made for this, to be an esport. To have pro players spending dozens of hours learning every little mechanic and counter. The average player is not what mattered here, and it shows. Now, before I go into all the issues this caused, let's jump forward to modern day because, wow, these problems have gotten extremely worse than they were in 2016 to say the least. We've already established that these games were designed to be taken seriously. Now, if you don't engage with this game in this way because you understand that gaming shouldn't be a second job, you just are not going to have any fun with this system at all. And if you do want to play like this, you need a team of 3 to 5 people, not including you, that are on enough to play regularly. If you are a normal human being who has school, a job, friends, anything, you cannot be a part of this team or find a team that would want you in the first place. Okay, well, you still enjoy the mechanics of the game and you want to play alone. What now? The dreaded solo queue, where fun goes to die and you get teammates who somehow have Parkinson's and no thumbs at the same time. Everyone hates solo queue, but why? The answer to that question isn't even nuanced at all, it's just matchmaking. This is a part I want to emphasize heavily to you. If you take away one thing from this video, it should be this. Matchmaking exists, especially in competitive settings, to make the game fair. That is common sense, but 50-50 is the most fair you can possibly get, and that is what matchmaking wants to happen. They want you to lose 50% of your games and win the other 50%. Even that no-life team from earlier hits a point after stomping pups for so long that the matchmaking wants to put them in games with a team that's exactly equal to them. That is the idea, at least. I don't think I have to explain to you why that isn't fun, but if you play these games, you should know that in practice these systems do not work. Skill is such a difficult thing to quantify into a simple number, and game devs just have not cracked the code to it at all. I go as far to say this transcends team games. No modern game has good matchmaking. This means that you are either the 5th player on the special education esports division, or you are going against them, and a majority of the time it's not fun. It's not fun to be stomped and have no chance of winning. It's not fun to be gatekeepers of spawn for 5 minutes and just sit there. Something else no game seems to be able to do right at the moment is balance. You like playing Armor in Rainbow Six? Well, you better switch to someone else because she's not viable or not in the meta. And if you don't, you are probably going to lose and have a child so young you didn't even know they could operate a controller yell at you in in-game chat. This forces you to use the same weapons, abilities, and strategies every game if you want to win. It's beyond boring after the 4th match, and I can only imagine how people can play like this 20 times a day, 7 times a week. This, to me at least, is why team games don't have the same appeal they did 10 years ago. Like, who would have thought that something specific as a team-based shooter, where you can choose from a roster of characters that all have different abilities, would have a name? Hero shooters. Before I end this, I just want to add that you can try your best and still have fun in games. However, when these games are designed, fun takes a backseat, and I think that's an objective statement to make in 2024. It's not fun to be forced to use a certain thing because it's meta. It's not fun to be put in a lobbies with exact clones of yourself or teammates that just installed the game. These games have stopped being fun, and at this point, they've been this way for a long time. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good one, and goodbye.